So they bought tickets out in the parking lot, came in at 3. We walked the whole thing again with them. Exhausted. Absolutely exhausted.
Did you see Mickelson's sign on Amen Corner where he hit that impossible shot? You didn't?
No, I didn't. No, I knew where it was hit, but I didn't
know that. If he had been left in,
Yeah.
no way. Still no way he should go. They have a flag.
Oh, I didn't see it. We were there. We were right there, but I didn't.
It's right in the pine tree.
Right in the pine.
And you can walk up there.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see it.
Did you talk to any of the volunteers?
Oh, Tyler talked to a bunch of them. Yeah, he did.
And you kind of like, are you sure this is Augusta National? When you're walking in, went through the gates, and all of a sudden you see
Yeah, I'm with you. We went into a nice neighborhood, but they exited us out on Washington Street.
Yes.
It's like, where are we? It's like a robot. Yeah, it's rough.
It's an experience.
Crazy. Yeah, I know one thing. I'll be in the lottery every year. I'll be in the lottery every year.
Hopefully I won't have to worry about that.
Well, I know. You can be a helper. Tyler talked to that girl that was there. She's the lady golfer that Kyle caddied for.
Is she the girl that married Kyle?
The black girl that she was there, and Tyler talked to her about Kyle.
And she knew Kyle?
Oh yeah. Well, she's a golfer, and I think
She's the one he caddied.
That's right. Yeah, he caddied for her. Yeah.
Oh, and that's what I thought. Like
Yeah,
it was a
he said
Facebook
he'd
plugin.
be here next year.
And now the app is updated. The camera's
That's
updated.
cool.
So the bug is fixed.
Oh, it's awesome.
So we're streaming to YouTube tonight, but it's still got that noise.
That's really cool.
Oh, with like a different camera. I'm sure it's not just like right. And how it's the building in general. Yeah. And don't change anything, but figure out. Yeah, just a good concept. Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, anytime you have an adapter involved, like that's, but I don't know. Oh yeah. Yeah. Somewhere around there. Right. I know. Yeah.
Bed. Poor Ashley, I saw your mom.
Do what?
I saw your mom.
We've done presentations.
Mr. Mike.
How are you? How are you guys?
Good. We've done presentations because it can connect wirelessly, but we've also got an HDMI cable under my desk so that it can reach there.
You guys get it all figured out back there?
From
Yeah, look at him back there.
No, I'd be.
I didn't know if I had to pay for dinner with him coming. Hey, Mike, that reminds me. Do you drive the turnpike? You never go that way?
No, I go down Charleston.
I got one of those easy pass. Just
go
go one time.
You should-
Well,
I'm gonna change my comments.
First time we ever went, I had to pay toll. Yeah. But then after that, we figured out, we get away from this.
Yeah.
So I asked a lady at the toll gate, she told me, I could get away from that.
Oh,
But
yeah. And
But
this
now we
is-
go into Charleston, just take 119 south.
Okay. I know right
And that's
away.
where all of our, once you get on 119 and take it south, that's where all of our trails are really. I got it.
Yeah.
You did? Anytime you need it, you just let me know.
So that would be us and 100 line.
I'm assuming, yeah, we're on.
Except for X.
Well, that includes, all the look in your budget. In the budget.
Okay, all rise, call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bow our heads. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the good weather we had today, and we just pray you'll watch over our city and our employees. Just give us a good meeting in Jesus' name.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mike Duffy,
Present.
Jeff Hancock,
Present.
Jerry Walden,
Here,
Aaron Dickin,
Here.
Mark Coker,
here.
Lynn Purdue,
Present.
Rex Peckinpah.
Here. Okay, any corrections or additions to the meeting minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes previous meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Duffy,
Aye.
Jeff Hancock,
Aye.
Jerry Walden,
Aye.
Aaron Dickin,
Aye.
Mark Coker,
Aye.
Lynn Purdue,
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye. Okay, is there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, it is considered approved. We're coming to the time for public comments and special presentations. Recently, caught some flack from some of our members and citizens about the fact that we don't follow our rules with the 3-minute time limit, which causes things to extend. So, Aaron, are we set with that, or Mr. Walden is?
Walden's gonna
Okay,
run
so
it from his desk.
Mr. Walden will be in charge of that 3-minute time limit. Anybody that's, if we have somebody from the EDC or an insurance presentation or something like that, certainly they can have all the time they want. 3 minutes is the amount of time, and if anybody would like to come forward, please do so. Please.
Amber, I'll give you a high sign of 1 minute 30 seconds.
I'll try my very best. I appreciate you guys listening. I have a few things. I was at the Board of Works meeting this morning. I brought up some issues I thought the city could save some money on and bring some income in. And I don't think you guys were there, but if you could get with the mayor and the minutes, you can see some of the suggestions I made. Some of them amount to $10,000, $20,000 different nonprofits are making. So I don't want to reiterate that, but I brought all this up this morning. I asked Aaron a question. Okay, I wanted to know on the training for the city clerk treasurer, is that done locally, or does the state board have a thing where they come here and they train them on how to do the job? Because if they don't, it seems to me like since we're in a bind, it would be financially responsible if Corey Criswell went to the state, or somehow they mandated that every clerk treasurer, not just Ashley, but every single one in every city had the mandated training and did the books the same way.
She goes to state, organized by the state that is training courses. How many have you been to so far?
3 or 4 big ones. There's a newly elected officials that the state puts on. There's free ones from Keystone and Baker Tilly, the DLGF. They really take care of you and train you.
So is Christy training you also?
She answers a lot of questions on how, on forms and stuff like that.
I don't know how they do it, but it's just my suggestion. Maybe we had a problem before. Maybe there's a better way of doing it, and I'm just trying to put it out there. Maybe we need to make some changes. Is there any possibility that the city clerk treasurer can?
A minute ago.
That includes my time and your time answering questions, right?
We'll give her 15 seconds because we have to answer questions.
So can the city clerk treasurer get you guys, the city council members, a copy of the weekly dockets before the meetings every 2 weeks so that you guys have that on hand since we're in financial trouble and you guys can see exactly where the costs are going to? That's my question. I noted that the website is done by the mayor's assistant and it needs updated. And my other thing I brought up this morning was I would appreciate it as a city resident and a property owner if the mayor would give a state of the city address once or twice a year to everyone that lives here. Although he does it with the chamber through a paid luncheon, I'm not a member of the chamber. So I would appreciate it if he would have some kind of a presentation at Bundy or somewhere and let everybody know what's going on. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Councilman, Mr. Mayor. I just want to make a statement, then I have 2 questions, and then I'll get out of your guys' way. In 2020, the city's dire financial condition was discovered. Councilman President Rex Beckenhall and Councilman Mark Coger brought this to the attention at the time and spoke up and spoke out about this issue. The quote them, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and a shell game were accurate descriptions of the financial practices of that time. Then, less than 3 years later, with continued overspending, we found ourselves in a much worse condition. Now, the city will obtain a credit, just an example here, the city's going to obtain a credit card using the social security numbers of its citizens. It's going to rob Peter to pay Paul. We're causing issues that are going to be further down the line when this could have been addressed a little bit earlier. I'm using this supposition and saying that because of the debt will only patch the debt, and the bond that you guys seek to get is only going to patch, it'd be a pothole filler for certain issues. It's only going to patch certain things. There's going to be more issues that's going to come up. Shuffling money around and borrowing from one fund to another will continue until the insurance fund is finally balanced. But because we know borrowed money will have to be paid back, and we know that this solution of moving funds from here to there alone will not solve the problem. We know that it will only add fuel to the larger issues if practices aren't put in place to catch these issues. You guys, Mr. Mayor, the clerk, everyone in this room at some point, some of you are the chosen leaders and the elected majority of the constituents and the citizens of this city. You have been chosen to address this. You have been chosen to look into this. So I encourage you, do not relent to poor financial form nor improper, ineffective practices. Hold each other accountable. Albert Einstein said this, rightly said, do not relent to Albert Einstein said this, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So my 2 questions is this. The city's financial problem was discovered in 2020. Why is it now that we're deciding to address it? And number 2, is there going to be procedures? I know you spoke on that, but will you share those procedures, and what are those procedures that will be in place in the future to stop this from happening again?
We've got a huge situation with our insurance. That is, we have the lowest premium insurance for the best coverage in the state. There's nobody else in the state that pays as little as our employees pay. A single person's health insurance is $45 a month. A married person's $136. Is that what you're paying? Is that $136? 90. A husband with spouse, their insurance for the month is $98 a month. So we're $93.69 a month. We have the best insurance coverage from office calls, meds, blood draws, x-rays, and we are at the point that we have to come in line with the county, with the schools, and with the hospital. So that's exactly where we're at right now, and we're
out of
making
curiosity, it's just not the insurance though. The financial issue that we're in, is it solely dependent on the insurance? It's more than just that, right? I mean, it's
the water
larger issues than just the insurance.
We haven't raised our water rates in 18 years. So there are some issues with our water rates also. We have not raised water rates in 18 years. So can you imagine how good a deal everybody's been getting for 18 years?
Amen.
There has to be something done there also.
Mike, I will add to that, first, the mayor and I are friends. Now, we get into it a lot, and we always have, but I feel like he does a good job as mayor. He's a hard worker, but he could have maybe did a little better job of budgeting, maybe. But the thing is, tonight, prior to this meeting, we had a finance committee meeting, and Mr. Estel, our insurance agent, came, and I know the mayor this past week especially has been feverishly working with him, along with our HR director, to figure out what we need to do. I think he's got a plan. I mean, that has things in writing. He also presented with us other ways to cut costs in our government. So I think things are being done, but it's a process. It just doesn't happen immediately.
This process and these plans, are they going to be rolled out and shown to the public, or is it just going to be something that we're going to find out afterwards?
Eventually, I think the mayor will do that, but there are certain things you have to do to protect privacy of employees, and also there are union contracts involved, so there's a lot of moving parts, so I'm not throwing Mayor the bus because he doesn't have something to give out tonight.
Sure. Understand.
But I think he is taking some positive steps toward bringing us through this.
And the reason we talk about that health fund is because it's so bad in the negative, it's just pulling at everything. So
It's just draining everything else.
Yeah, that's why we always talk about that.
And here's a struggle. For the last 12 years, we've tried our best to give raises, bonuses, and still, for our fire, police, and EMS, they can drive to Pendleton or Anderson and make at least $10,000 more a year. And so we've tried not to raise our insurance, but I mean, we're at the point that we've got to become in line with other insurance policies. But we've tried to use that as an offset. I mean, we still struggle by, we have people leaving every day making $15,000 more a year than what we are. So I've hated to raise insurance policies because that takes bottom line out of every household also. And so we're at a point that it has to happen.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen and ma'ams, for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Anybody else like to come forward?
Thank you, and I will try my best for 3 minutes.
I'll hold you to that.
City insurance, 5% and 95%. City pays 95%. Family plan for a year is around $1,500. The city pays $30,000 a year. We have been talking about insurance in 2020 and in 22. We are not the only ones that had to look at this and cutting back. The school, I give you an example last week on the school and the employees. I am not blaming any one person because we know if it was coming to that, I can hope we can all work together as a team and a community and keep the employees we have. Now let's talk about our council, which is not a city employee. They were elected by this community. They are 7 councilmen, so it would cost $210,000 a year, plus if they over exceed a family membership. This money could stay in general fund. This should be done in a timely manner to get other insurance for them. But remember, if they wouldn't have won the election, they would have only had 2 months. Insurance for life. This started, I think, back in the 80s, but after looking at that wall, it could have been 70s. To help with the expense, the city did go with Humana Planning. This runs about $50,000 a month, $600,000 a year. We need to keep this, stop this soon. I'm almost done. So, after 65, do this formula. Age plus service with no family. Thank you for your time. And what happened to our A+ bond rating in 2020? I hate to see this. How much this bond cost us now? Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Simler, is there a difference in, other than the fact that rates are different, is there a difference in the amount we're paying for this bond that we're going to discuss tonight versus bond we might have got a few years ago? Does our credit rating have a factor on that?
A couple things. One, the interest rate that you're paying on this bond is higher because it's a taxable bond, because we're using it for operating costs. The bond that we did in 2020, we were using it for public infrastructure or public capital costs. So because of that, we were able to issue tax-exempt bonds. So that's a big factor right there. There's some taxable tax on it. And then with a rating, it would typically help if we had a bond rating. This one, it wouldn't impact us as much because it's a 10-year financing versus a 20-year. So we're trying to keep this short so we can pay it off as quickly as possible and pay less interest. Does that help?
Anyone else?
Can I just ask what the percentage of the rate percentage is going to be on the phone? Is that okay?
Yeah, it says if we go forward tonight, it'd be 6.47%.
Yeah, you can ask something. Speak.
I am concerned because 2 months ago we talked about the water, and I know you were presented with the water tax. Well, probably our water rates are going to go up. And now 2 months later, we're looking at the bond issue. Is that going to affect directly with my taxes on my property tax or whatever that too am I looking at?
These will be payable property taxes.
So I can look at that too.
However, that's correct. It will impact your gross property taxes. But if you're familiar with the circuit breaker caps, for homeowners are capped at 1% of your gross assessed value. Rental property, agriculture is capped at 2%. Commercial buildings are capped at 3%. Just probably everyone in the city is already hitting the cap. So when you look at your tax bill, you probably have your gross taxes, and you have a credit, and you pay a net amount. So yes, your gross taxes will be going up, but so will your credit, so your bottom line.
But I've seen people post recently on social media about different issues with their taxes going up.
Yeah.
Different credits changing, so that's why I'm concerned about anything but.
That could be true if your assessed value increases or if your deductions increase. But that would, this tax rate would impact that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to committee reports. Mr. Guffey.
I have none.
Mr. Hancock.
I just got one thing, and it's brought up Monday night about part-time help and all that stuff, and I don't think a lot of people realize what goes on behind closed doors. We just don't have 2 meetings a month. So I jotted down just this week. Tuesday, I had 3 text messages, 2 phone calls. I met with 2 different people for a period of time. Wednesday, I had 1 phone call, 2 text messages. I met with another person for a little while. Friday, I had a phone call and I met with a person. Actually, the person wanted to ride around with me and show me some things. And then this morning, I had a person call me and I met with them and all that. This does not include text messages and phone calls from council members and all that. And with the traffic thing, and Aaron can answer that because he's not on it, but Jerry is and all that. When there's a problem and stuff, we walk door to door a couple blocks, both sides. And a lot of times we do this by ourselves because everybody's working and all that. And if we don't, nobody's home or whatever, we go back the second day. So there's a lot of things done behind closed doors that a lot of people don't realize that we do and all that. So just want to make that clear that /part-time end up to be a little bit more than part-time stuff. council like a full-time, part-time. And I don't contact the mayor because he's got great department heads. If I need legal counsel, I'll talk to Joel. Kenny, I don't burn his phone up, but Matt, I got him on speed dial and all that. And Leah got on speed dial. I call you every once in a while and stuff. Sorry, Doug. Nobody calls about the now bus. Great job. But that's all I wanted to make.
Okay, Mr. Walton.
Do want to report we've sold another property for the land bank. We'll have new figures for you at our next meeting. Ashley, you ready for your quiz?
I think so.
I gave Ashley a take-home quiz. And it's just a question that I've had asked of me, and so I wanted to get these out in a public meeting. First one, are city funds in a local bank here for withdrawals and deposits?
Yes, we use a local bank, yes.
And it's pretty much like a checking account, isn't it?
Yes,
And it draws interest at a very small percentage,
yes,
correct?
we do draw interest at a small percentage.
And those interests are accrued, correct,
Yes,
for the total budget?
yes.
Would it be possible to figure out a line item accrued interest?
No,
That would not be possible. Can you explain why?
I can't.
Okay.
I don't,
Just can't, right?
I'm still learning.
And that's what I found
Yeah.
out too, so. At the end of the year, and I'm going to use insurance as an example. Let's say it's been budgeted at $1.5 million for the insurance.
Right,
And it just so happens that our payout was $500,000, so that leaves $1 million, correct?
yes,
Is that correct?
yeah. 1.5.
At the end of the year, at the end of the fiscal year, with that $1 million left over, could that go directly to that payoff on the insurance?
If it is in the same fund, we can move it to the health insurance, or move it to the general and move it into the health fund. We cannot commingle, how do you say that?
Commingle.
Yeah,
Commingle.
with other funds, but we can in general.
Would that have to be taken, would the council have to take action upon that? Is that something that the council would have to do to move that funding?
Or if it's,
At the end of the year, traditionally, at the end of the
The
year,
suite.
there are a lot of
Suite, yeah.
funds that are moved from one place to the other just to make everything mesh. And the council, that comes before the council to vote about with the resolution.
Go ahead. Thanks, Ashley.
yeah, thank you.
Mr. Dickon?
I think I'll go ahead and use my report time to make a statement, since the issue's already been discussed here tonight. This budget issue is one that not only requires attention, but intention. Attention to the facts of how we got here, how we can improve, and what role each one of us on the council and administration can play in that, and intention to earnestly and honestly work together to better align our financial future according to what our constituents deserve. I have my own personal opinions about how we got here, and I'm open to sharing those if asked. I also feel confident in the measures council has taken thus far according to Indiana code and our own limited actionable options, and I'm open to sharing those as well. However, pointing fingers or assigning blame is not the way out of this situation, and calling names and bullying is not the way out of this situation either. I'm talking to everybody in this room and outside the room. The only way out of this situation is to move forward together with new ideas, new discussions, and an open mind that is void of ego and pride. It's not going to be a 2-year process. Rather, it will take several years of accountability and diligent, day-to-day financial stability, determination, and dedication. Some ideas that come to mind include selling assets like unused property and equipment, increasing employee contributions, which haven't changed since I've been on council, which means medical inflation, rising medical costs, market inflation, all of that. The city has shouldered those costs. Increase the employee premium contributions for dependents, offer a cheaper plan option with a health savings account or a health reimbursement account. I think that was brought up by an outside third party. Continue working with licensed third-party individuals in terms of insurance options and solutions, and trim other budget items that are not immediately needed, like department cars and Jeeps, if we already have vehicles that run safely. Regardless of how things proceed, things will inevitably need to change at this point, and it's important that they do. At the end of the day, the council, the legislative branch, does not have daily oversight of the budget or expenditures. It is the executive branch that will institute these changes, follow and enforce ordinances, etc. But it's also important to keep in mind that the council works for the taxpayers and should be able to answer questions and help hold people accountable for answers, especially when things seem off. And that's all I have to share.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coger?
I have nothing.
Rudy?
I have nothing.
Okay. Got a few things. First, Aaron mentioned a couple things in his statement that I believe will come to light fairly soon. I'm not going to walk on the mayor by presuming what's in his plan. I mean, I've seen some of those things, but I know sometime in the near future he's going to present that plan to this whole council, to the public, and so that'll be good. I also want to mention that on June 29th, Wild Hyena Bar, I believe that's what it's called, is going to have a mural dedication at noon. It's on a Saturday. Talked to the Petties. They seem like very nice people, and they have a beautiful mural going up there and everything. And hope people will come to that. One other thing I wanted to mention is the live streaming. We've had issues at times with live streaming, and Your Honor, I'm going to throw this over kind of to you, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, come January 1st, every meeting, not only of the council, but the Board of Works, and everybody is going to have to, the park board, everything's going to have to be streamed. And have you put any thought into who's going to be in charge of making sure those get streamed? Okay.
Yes.
All right. The next
Aaron's
thing,
going to come in for every meeting.
I was going to say, you beat me to it. I was holding my tongue. Right, exactly.
Then, well, it would make sense that the guy with the paper, he's going to be here every meeting.
How do you think I keep up on the meetings I'm not at?
Yeah. Anyway, okay, well, I just wanted to bring that up. And then recently we had Vaughn Reed Jr. pass away. In my estimation, he was a great citizen of Newcastle and Henry County. Sheriff, was one of the starters of the first aid unit and all that. And I would like to see us rename the street through Baker Park, Vaughn Reed Jr. Way or Parkway or Avenue. I think that would be appropriate because he did spend a lot of time over there in his later years. And so I know that would go through Board of Works, but I would certainly like to see that.
Well, and we've had a request that
Or maybe
I
there's something
Avenue,
else.
no, I Avenue, the EMS would like to name that Chuck Wood Way.
I think
In front of the
both
old.
those are-
So I think it'd be fitting if we did them one right after the other, or both together.
That'd be awesome. And then the last thing, I don't know, somebody might say it's self-serving, but, because I'm a Purdue fan, but I'd like to see us have some type of a recognition, either a small parade or
Mason Gillis Day.
Mason Gillis Day or something, because
Holiday parade.
he's done some pretty good advertising for Newcastle. Pretty proud of him. So, anyway, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Sure.
You had an excellent question. We're hearing a lot about the bond and people being afraid that their property taxes are going up because of it. So, Jason, I couldn't hear you real well. You were saying because of the circuit breaker, if you just wouldn't mind, saying that again so people realize that the bond is not, when you get your property taxes,
Sure.
please, thank you.
Here in Indiana and in the city of Newcastle, everyone's property taxes are capped at certain percentages based upon their gross assessed value.
Yes.
And with the current tax rate of the city of Newcastle, probably just about everyone in the city is already hitting that cap. So if the council decides to go forward with the bond issue and we issue that, yes, the tax rate will go up to pay for that bond. But keeping everything else constant, if everyone's assessed value stays the same, their deductions stay the same, their net property tax bill will not go up because they're already at the cap. They're not going to pay any more.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Chief, you have anything, Susie?
I do not.
Chief? Ken? Mike? Dave? Councilman?
anything this evening.
All right.
Ashley?
Thank you, sir.
I called her the wrong name this morning. Shirley?
Good.
Doug? Greg? Steve? Okay. The only thing I want to announce is thank heavens the eclipse is over. I have to man up and say it was much more intriguing than I personally thought it was going to be. I still don't know that I would drive to Muncie to see it again, but we had a good crowd. I think a lot of our local people thought we were going to have that 20,000, 30,000 people, so I think they had their own private parties or stayed at home. I don't think we had the 20,000 like they predicted, but I think we had it covered, surrounded, and saw a lot of new faces. Salt Lake City, Denver, a lot from Michigan, Virginia, South Carolina. So I think we had a really good turnout for that, but very thankful that it's over. How about you, Tim?
Very much so.
That's all that I have.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our scheduled business. First thing we have is a third reading on ordinance 3923, prohibiting camping on or within city-owned property or rights of way. Move we pass that on third reading.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote.
Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock. Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Koger.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye. Then that brings us to second reading and public hearing of ordinance 3925. We do public hearing before the motion?
I don't think it matters one way or the other.
Okay. Well, I'll move we pass this on second reading.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Koger.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye. Now I'll turn this over to Mr. Harvey for public meeting.
All right, this will call to order the public hearing on ordinance 3925. It's an ordinance appropriating the proceeds of the taxable general obligation bonds of 2024. If anyone would like to address the council regarding this ordinance, please come to the podium and state your name. I think we'll have the same time limits we had under public comments, and I know a lot of the same comments that relate to this have already been made, but if anyone else would like to speak on it, please feel free.
Travis White, the Courier Times newspaper, city resident. Since we had the conversation about the tax caps, I heard some questions from the audience, and I also wanted to know how would the bond be repaid if property tax payments aren't going to be made because of the tax caps? And that was just something that I believe people will like to understand.
I'm going to let our financial advisor answer that because he can answer you in a way that will seem more intelligent.
No, that is a very good question because it doesn't make sense. No one's paying more taxes and how are you going to generate money to make a bond payment? And that's because that credit that you receive, that higher credit that you receive, is an additional loss to the city and no other elected action. So right now, when the city puts together their budget, they have a certain amount that they're allowed to levy. They don't receive all of that because of the additional credits that the citizens get. So because of that additional credit that you will receive because of the higher taxes, that's this additional loss that the city will receive. So they're really going to be paying out at their own zero. So that's where some of the discussions that we talked about with cuts and additional changes, we're going to have to do that to be able to account for these additional losses.
Anything else on that respect, Travis?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we've had a vote. We've had votes.
Any other comments from the public on the ordinance? All right, hearing none, we will close the public hearing.
Okay, and that concludes our business. So if we have a motion to adjourn, that's what we'll do.
we need to, would it need, on the timeline, would it need to be passed tonight finally, the appropriation ordinance?
It's not required.
Okay.
It can be, but for us to move forward, I mean, right now,
I just didn't know if the appropriation ordinance needed to be finally passed before.
you'll need to be passed before you spend the money.
Okay.
And we're planning on closing on the bonds before, on August 26th.
Okay.
So we'll have
April,
the money.
April.
Or, I'm sorry, April. Sorry,
Actually,
April.
it's one that.
Yeah. Didn't mean to scare you.
Sorry, did I say that loud?
So, well, when will you guys meet again?
Be the first week of May.
You might
Yeah.
pass it tonight then.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then I'll move that we suspend the rules to pass this ordinance on third reading.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Take a roll call vote on that.
All right, Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden. Aaron Dickon.
Aye.
Mark Koger.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye, and then I'll make a motion to pass this ordinance on third reading.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Hearing no discussion. Roll call vote, please.
All right, Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickon.
Aye.
Mark Koger.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye. And now we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
We got another one.
I thought it presumed that was passed.
Since we keep getting those, say no matter. When's it ever going to be brought up on the,